me now, I think. You're looking for my 1-minute pitch?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm Bruce Hyatt, co-founder of the project from Luxury Realty Group. We're revolutionizing how luxury real estate is bought and sold with cutting-edge AI to pivot beyond conventional business practices. Overall, we've been focusing on the luxury real estate market. We've been doing this for many years, and these luxury homes are not really represented very well in search engines or on portals or other real estate websites. We're using AI technology to totally change that, from conversational AI to other tools we'll talk about in more depth. As far as our numbers go, we look to raise $2 million, which gives us a 9-month runway to profitability. And overall, our numbers are TAM as overall housing market is 3.8 trillion. Our SAM is 67 billion, which represents the 25 cities we're targeting with substantial number of luxury homes. And our SOM is 10% of that. We feel very confident we can achieve at 6.7 billion. Our revenues from years 1 through 5 at gross margin is 4.1 million to 143 million, and year 5, 892% return on investment.
Okay, perfect timing. All right, so we're just going to move right on, and we're going to be getting feedback overall after this. So is Matt is ready? You're up next, Matt.
Struggling. There we go.
Okay, you're muted again unless you're on a microphone and your computer needs to be muted.
Are we on? Okay, great. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Patterson. I'm the founder and innovator behind Walkabout Carriers. Walkabout Carriers are it's very distracting. Marching carrier harness designed specifically for electronic musical instruments. The problem is typically that electronic musical instruments are placed on a stationary stand and cable up to power and the PA system, rendering the musicians virtually motionless. So the solution is Walkabout Carriers, and we're looking for $500,000 in exchange for a safe agreement with a 20% discount post money. And if you look at the market, we are combining this total school market, electronic musical instruments and accessories is 1.65 billion. And we believe we can attract 20% of that market with the excitement behind the product, and hopefully penetrate to the point of about $16 million within 5 to 7 years.
Okay, good on timing too.
Thank you.
Right. Sean, did Sean show up? Is Sean in person? Ms. Well, John, you're here, so you're ready to go.
If you want me to go, I'll go ahead and I'll go. So I'm ready to rock and roll here, whenever you are.
Okay. Rock
All right.
and roll.
Very good. Well, I'm John Dietenhoffen, and I founded Deeds Enterprises, LLC, Cyber and Space. Our ethical hacking of space systems with artificial intelligence will provide value to the U.S. government and the aerospace and defense industry by finding cyber vulnerabilities in our space systems before our adversaries do. A Nevada-based, SBA-certified, service-disabled, veteran-owned small business, we open with research contracts and move to SaaS subscriptions as we continue to develop our AI products. To deliver value to our customers, we have already engaged with StartUpNV, UNLV, and UNR here in Nevada to help develop and deploy our offerings. Nationally, we've also already connected with organizations such as Lockheed Martin Space and EC Council and other related organizations for their deep subject matter expertise. We seek $200K from Angel NV and $200K from Nevada to win and excel at U.S. government contracts with rock-solid compliance and unassailable integrity. Thank you.
Okay, so you had 7 seconds to spare.
You see me? A bit tall? Okay. So I'm Casper, and I'm from Magic Door. We are doing a cloud property management software solution. So we are addressing an issue in the industry right now where a lot of software solutions that's out there is very fragmented and purely serviceable, not focusing on customers' core needs, instead of focusing on external packages that the core functionality is not really there for the customers. So our market share is about 50 million units in America, and the market share for us around that is around 6 billion. The largest competitor we have right now is Folio, which owns about 10% market share of the similar market share. We're revenue about $600 million last year. So we're solving this problem by taking a user-centric design flow and incorporating AI into our solutions to speed up the property manager's ability to scale their own business and manage more units per person in the office.
That's 1 minute.
Thank you.
Thanks, Casper.
All right, Jeff, so general feedback now?
Okay, so general feedback. A couple of you guys are formed as LLCs. If you are trying to raise money, I can tell you that we will make, if we decide to invest in you, we will make you change to a C Corp before we will give you the investment. And almost all venture capitalists will do that. Not everybody, it's not universal, but it's pretty close to universal. So just, you don't have to do anything now, but just think about that and be aware of it. So the thing that I think overall, everybody is so familiar with their own thing that I'm just hearing a ton of jargon around what it is that you're doing. And for these 1-minute pitches, I would encourage you to just be as simple and straightforward as you can. The less technical words, the less acronyms, the better. And I'll give you an example. We have one of our investments is a company called Flawless AI. And if I was pitching Flawless AI, I would say the problem that we're solving is that people can't stand watching badly translated movies where the lips don't match the dialogue. We have technology that fixes that problem. It perfectly, flawlessly matches the dialogue and all of the actors' body movements. We do that with AI. Our business model is a project model first, converting to a SaaS model later. And if you actually saw their beautifully done video of translating all kinds of movies and things and from English to other languages and from other languages to English, you would get it. And they got all kinds of technology and patents, and you could go deep in the weeds on how they technically do it. But reducing it to that very simple thing, people can't stand to watch movies and shows where the lips don't match the dialogue. And we have technology that solves that problem. So I know that everybody, and I know that company well, deep technology, but it really reduces to a pretty easily explained problem. And I would encourage everybody to try to get their pitches, especially their 1-minute pitches, to something that, your grandma will understand. And then just being, I loved how everybody knew what their market was, their TAM, their SAM, and their SOM. The numbers didn't always make sense to me, but I like the fact that you're going down that path and you're getting sharp on it. So that's good. And I think the other thing I would like to understand, if you can fit it in, is, so how are you selling this? What is the most basic business model? Like John talked about, they were doing professional services first, converting over to a SaaS model. Great, understood that, crystal clear. I wasn't understanding all of the different business models. So that's my feedback.
Okay, thanks. Here is some of my feedback. You shouldn't be chewing gum while you're pitching. You can choke on it pretty easily, especially if you're nervous and you take an unexpected breath, so be careful, Matt. John, I like John's because he started off with this story, which I understood. And John talks really fast, so we got a lot of information in. That's not always the best thing. You should try to slow down a little bit. It is only a minute, but you have time to spare, and you've probably practiced it many times where you were right at the 1-minute mark. But it's always the case that when you're doing it with other people, you're going to be nervous and going a little bit faster. Getting the numbers right, and also the LLC stuff that Jeff mentioned. John, I was able to tell that you wanted to apply for Angel NV because you asked for exactly what Angel NV offers, the 200K with the 200K match. But I had questions for each of you about how your business actually works, but that's really the purpose of the 1 minute things, just to get people to say, tell me more. So in that way, everybody did well. I see that Sean has joined us now. So if we want to delay David Schwader from doing his repitch, we can listen quickly to, and I see Anna has raised hand. So Sean, I'm going to promote you. Okay, so Sean, you're with us now. You can unmute. I'm going to start the timer after you say your name and company.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sean Gigermosa. I'm the founder and CEO of Clarative. So basically, you know the problem with missed requirements in product development, which causes additional time and effort to really build your products. Well, that's the problem we're trying to fix with Clarative. Clarative is an AI-enabled product platform that helps product professionals in being able to generate insights from conversations so you don't miss anything. So you know exactly what your customer wants and you know exactly what to build for your customers. We are a B2B SaaS organization with 3 tiers in being able to serve our first beachhead in product professionals. Our main competitors. Oh, sorry. Our main competitors is Product Board and Craftful, and we are looking for our pre-seed 500K. Period.
Okay, you saw the timer go.
Yeah.
David, it looks like you're up. I'm going to be putting a link to the voting form into the chat so everyone can vote. David, you can vote when you get done.
My name is David Schwaderer. I'm CEO of Shapeshift Ciphers, LLC. The problem we address is that cyberspace is provably riddled with defects. The consequence of this is that cybercrime now threatens global commerce and social stability. The reality is proposed solutions cannot solve the problem. The real solution is Shapeshift Ciphers that are provably faster, better, safer for data protection. Here's what we sell: annual Shapeshift technology subscriptions, tiered offerings that are feature differentiated, value priced targeted towards the profile of the customer, technology integration support on premises, and strict liability lawsuit insulation from data breaches. Initial Shapeshift Cipher target markets: gaming, financial institutions, hospitals, and long sales cycle critical infrastructure. The 2021 global cybersecurity TAM was $2 trillion. We believe SAM was $50 billion in the USA. SOM, $5 million. We believe we can achieve in 3 years. Operational.
Okay, that's 9 seconds over. So it was 1 minute pitch.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's feedback. I think it was the story hung together really well. So I really began to understand it, even with your data at the end about Tansam and Zom. I liked it. Jeff, what do you say?
I think it was an improvement from where you were the first time. I'm still not sure what it is that's riddled with defects and how your solution is going to improve that. I'm still not sure.
And you should, which is why we will have a follow-on conversation, Mr. Potential Customer. And what it is, if you want a succinct answer to that question, go talk to Caesars and go talk to MGM Grand, and they'll tell you about their $100 million and $15 million loss recently. We protect it because current solutions are addressing symptoms of the problem. We address the problem, which is a mathematical basis of all data encryption.
Okay, so gotcha. Data encryption. Now I understand. I didn't know that's what it was.
Oh, well, that's a problem on my side, I guarantee you.
Okay, So I did not understand that you were fixing data encryption. So now I get it. All right. That's my feedback is I wanted to know more about that. Everything else was better.
Oh, that's perfect. This is you just changed my title slide.
Right.
That's a good way to take it. Yeah.
Hi, I am Amna, and my husband and I started a company. It's called Sabil. It's in Arabic for doing something for the sake of, in the line of to help people basically. And our idea is to provide a crowdfunding platform for people to raise funds to pay for the healthcare costs associated with their own treatment or that of their loved ones. Currently, at this time in third world countries, people depend on their family and friends or other benefactors to pay for high healthcare costs. Sabil provides people with a platform to reach a broader audience, enabling them to generate the required funds quickly by opening a diaspora of individuals around the world. Any as a beneficiary, they or you can start a campaign to raise funds for that individual in the country that they are in. Currently, we will start with third world countries such as Pakistan, and then eventually we'll take it to Philippines, Malaysia, that side of the world, and then we will bring it back to the United States and the United Kingdom, Canada, and all other places. Yes.
Your time is up. You were about 15 seconds over. You were kind of slow out of the gate, like you hadn't quite prepared yourself to start speaking. But you did pick up the pace there, and so I was getting more information. But it's not quite down. It sounds like that could be a 3-minute pitch. It's not quite down to a 1-minute pitch, where you succinctly describe what you do and talk a little bit about your market. So you need to keep working on that.
Okay, so you mean I should add more about the market we want to focus on rather than the project, or is it the market that we're focusing on, how the project will hit that market?
It's that you need to be more succinct about what you do so that you have time to talk about the market.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, it takes a lot of practice to get to a 1-minute.
Yeah, I guess. I haven't actually read it out loud ever in front of people, so I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Inez, can you help me with the tallying of what we have going on? We've got
Everybody already click on the voting link?
yeah, we've had 10 responses so far, and I haven't had time, so.
While you're voting and tallying, Maggie, somebody asked, what is a C Corp? So I'm going to tell you the difference between a C Corp and an LLC. So there's several ways that companies are organized in different states. There's a bunch of different things you can do. You can have a sole proprietorship, which means it's just you and you personally are on the hook and liable for everything that happens. An LLC is the most common formation of businesses. Most businesses are formed as LLCs, and they're fine. They're fine. They're really good businesses for professional services businesses, local businesses, and all sorts of applications. Every single investment instrument that we put together and invest in other companies is an LLC. So there's a lot of uses for LLCs. But if you're raising capital and you're going to be issuing preferred stock and common stock to investors and others, the best formation is a C Corp. Almost every investor, almost every venture capitalist will insist that you be a C Corporation just because of the legal entity being set up the right way, the way you can issue shares of stock in your company with a C Corporation. It is just by far the preferred way for investors to have to be invested. It's a little more expensive to set up in the beginning. You're probably going to have to hire a lawyer or some legal expert to help you set it up that way. And you will pay, probably, instead of it costing you a couple of $100 or $300 or $400 to set up your LLC, it'll probably cost you $1,200 or $1,500 to set up your C Corp. So it's a little more, but if you do intend to go out and raise capital, you're going to have to do it eventually, and you'll end up paying more if you do an LLC first and then transition it to a C Corp than if you just went straight to a C Corp. So it's not the end of the world if you start as an LLC, but it just makes it a little bit more complicated. So hopefully I rambled on enough, Maggie, that you and Nez can have the votes to see who's going.
Yes. So I have Magic Door and David Schwatter and Sean Gigramosa.
So these people are doing 3-minute pitches with slides.
Yeah. So Casper, did you have a deck?
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right, then if you want to go first, you may.
And do we give feedback after each pitch or all at once at the end?
Yes, we are going to give feedback after each pitch. And I see the question in the chat about being an S corp.
You can be. It's a little unusual. Again, if you go to investors, you want to put as few roadblocks in front of them as possible to invest in your company. So to do that, you want to be a C corp.
So my name is Dave Schwatter, and I'm CEO of Shapeshift Ciphers LLC. I have a new keyboard. Today's ransomware pandemic threatens global commerce and social stability. Estimated cybercrime damage cost is $9.5 trillion a year across a variety of attack surfaces. Throw on top of that emerging quantum computing threats that threatens and weakens every existing mathematics-based encryption scheme, and you've got a lot of trouble. Our solution is provably unsurpassed encryption strength, performance, unpredictability. You can see the list there right now. The market for total global cybersecurity TAM is $2 trillion United States dollars. In the United States, we believe it is $50 billion in 2021, and we believe that within 3 years we can achieve annual sales of $5 million a year. This is what we're going to sell: annual value price tiered subscriptions to the technology, integration support, and our initial target segments are going to be gaming, financial, and hospitals. We have minimal expenses that we're looking at, very lean development team, small amount of code. We will have distributed sales partners, contract programmers that will be on site for technology integration. We will be very asset light and have zero debt. We have 7 patent filings. One is issuing internationally in Australia, Canada, United States, the European Union, and Israel. 6 others are pending. We've had 2 office actions on them. We are boarding the train. Presently, we are pre-revenue, and our ignition plan is to engage 10 companies, a no-cost license, do integration consulting for them, and use them as references. Our exit will be acquisition. Thank you very much.
Okay. We had 50 seconds left. So you really had more opportunity to tell more about it. My feedback is there were a lot of sort of mixed metaphors in there: ignition and boarding a train, and like all of this flowery talk is really not necessary.
Okay, I like it. I'm liking it.
Yeah, just give us the facts as plainly as possible.
Oh, I'm loving it.
And we would want, clearly you're the CEO and founder, so just a little bit of background. You can do that in your 3-minute pitch, and you can have an ask in a 3-minute pitch too.
Background, what? Background on me?
Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, your team. If your team is just you.
No. I got a team. I have Doug Harrison, and I cannot thank you enough for that.
All right, Jeff, anything else to add?
I think I'm going to ask again to simplify the problem. I believe that you're saying that encryption is a far better security solution to other forms of data protection. Is that accurate?
No, and it's my fault that you don't understand it. All data encryption as it exists today is based on mathematics.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it can be attacked with new innovative mathematical techniques.
Sure.
All right. What we have done is come up with a non-mathematical data encryption. And I was talking with one investor, and his statement was, well, if you don't use mathematics, what do you use? And I said, we use the same thing that fuels Nevada, unpredictability and shuffling. That's all it takes. And we're faster. I mean, I'm running on a Raspberry Pi at 2.6 gigabytes a second on a Raspberry. No, actually 5 on a Raspberry Pi 5, 2.5 gigabytes a second, which is unheard of. We smoke everything in the industry. We're stronger than the strongest data encryption. And we have no mathematics what's involved. I can sit down with a junior high school student, Python programmer, and probably within 30 or 40 minutes, they can program up the actual algorithm in Python and they will get it correct. It's very simple.
Okay. So, and then, like I said, the other feedback I had is have something about your team.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your advice.
Right. Thanks. Who's next?
Thank you.
You then, Sean, you go ahead and go.
All right, cool. So I have made some changes to this slide. I know you guys, some has probably seen it, but hopefully it's better than the last.
Okay, we see your slide, so whenever you're ready.
Okay, cool. So hello, my name is Sean Gigermosa. I'm the founder and CEO of Claritative, and Claritative is an AI-enabled product management platform. But before I start, I'd like to talk about Claire. So Claire is a customer-centric CPO, so Chief Product Officer. She owns the strategic vision of her product and her team. She loves customers, and she's a very big champion about their insights. So very customer driven. But aside from that, she wants to empower her team, right? She loves to make sure that her team is really high performing within the organization. But Claire has a problem. Her product managers or her team are stuck in back-to-back meetings. Most product managers right now are working 10 to 15-hour days. And aside from that, they're getting so many feature requests from customers. And out of all of those different feature requests, what do you build? Like, how do you prioritize? And because, her product managers are stuck in these back-to-back meetings, a lot of those details that needs to get built are missed, right? Because, the time and effort to be able to note it properly is taking more and more time, which causes development to be wrong, which causes rework and rework and rework. So that is the reason why we built Claritative. So as I mentioned earlier, Claritative is an AI-enabled platform designed to streamline product discovery. So Claire and her team can focus on the conversation, can focus on talking to customers, and documentation and generating product insights can be generated by our platform. So the benefits of Claritative is because we automate the documentation, the notes that gets generated, the insights that get generated from conversations, from meetings, are done automatically. We have a model. We have some logic that actually ranks the importance of each topic, and building the solutions are generated using our AI. So with that, the right things get identified, the right things get built, thus saving Claire's team time and money in development. So the market, TAM, and to be honest, this is still ongoing or being refining, is 118 billion annually. Our SAM is 29.5 with a 331 million SOM. Our main competitors, at least within our platform, are Craftful and Product Board. We also look at Otter, Firefly's Assembly as sort of second-tier competitors, just because they are in that transcription space. We are a B2B SaaS company. company with 3 different tier levels with different price points. And this is our team. So our team is full-on product development, product management. So we do understand this problem firsthand. We've been doing this for years and years. And I know I'm over time, so I'm going to stop here.
You're over time because you spent a full minute and a half on the problem. That's too long on the problem. Even though you were making Claire seem real, you took too long to get to that point. So you didn't get to the ask. You didn't have time to, except for spending too much time on the problem. So even in a 10-minute pitch, we don't want people spending more than a minute on the problem. Oh, sorry. Jeff was raising his hand like I'm stealing his lines. Sorry. Other than that, I understand what the problem is. So that's good. You just need to get through it a little faster. Jeff, what's your feedback?
No, that's a +1 to that. Just same story in 1/3 the time. I think you can do it. We will get Claire's issue much more quickly with many fewer words. Because those last few slides that you didn't get to and you kind of rushed through, I was dying to hear more about that. I really was. And I know kind of what you do because I've developed lots of software problems and I've seen you pitch twice now. So
yep.
So I have an idea of what you do, and I was just dying for you to get to those last slides, and you just ran out of time because you spent so much time.
Yeah, I definitely need to refine that early part because I was trying to figure out what's the best way to tell that story without missing important details. So it's still in refinement, I guess.
Yeah, and I think almost all of us have been that person in those back-to-back meetings where you're hearing all kinds of things all day and you're really frustrated that you're never going to get back to anything that you heard during the day. So I think
maybe one question, Jeff, Maggie, would it be more beneficial to just talk about one thing? Because like right now, like I get confused sometimes because I have those 3 things, right? And would it be better to just talk about just one of those topics and then really take out those other 2? But would that be seen as a problem because then the slide becomes too empty? Would love to hear your thoughts on that.
I love empty slides. I like slides that have only headlines and no text, because that text should be your narration, which is in a script, which is a separate document. But you just have the points that you want to reinforce. Like your one thing about the 3 different topics with her, that was fine. Saying she was in meetings all day, completely understandable. But then you were telling me about the overhead and all this other stuff, and I didn't care about that. When you said she's trying to figure out which features to work on next, that's a real problem.
Got it. Okay.
Because you want to keep those customers happy.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of stuff you could edit out of that.
Yeah, I think the overall goal is to tell that same story with the same basic things in about 1/3 of the time that you spent on it. And that'll give you enough time to do all the other things that were in your deck that you didn't get to, and you didn't get a chance to spend time on some of the things that most investors consider to be more important.
Yep. Cool. Thanks, Maggie. Thanks, Jeff.
Sure. Okay, Casper, do you want to head up to the podium?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Casper, I'm the CEO of Magic Door, and we are solving a problem with property managers where in today's tight economy, inefficient property management software erodes slim margins and blocks scaling. So the current solutions are fragmented and don't work well together, which means that many property managers use many different software subscriptions to get their work done. None of them are innovating to improve the day-to-day lives of property managers. And none of them actually have two-way communication with tenants. They all have one-way communication. There we go. So our solution is a game-changing cloud software solution that effortlessly manages more property with fewer resources. So our goal is to save time, save money, and allow property managers to scale by a factor of 10. That means that each employee they have, we want to be able to have 10 more units than they have today with our software. So our solution is a unified web platform that does everything that a property manager needs to focus on the core principle of property management instead of all the outside areas. The market size of property management just in USA, we have 50 million units that gets rented out every year. And we have 362,000 property management companies. And the property management The industry has a revenue of $99 billion of last year. Just in Las Vegas alone, we have 250 roughly companies, and we have 205K units in Las Vegas. Our business model is a SaaS B2B subscription model. You can dive into numbers a little bit more, but on average, we're going to make about $61 per unit per year, with potential future monetization areas of rental insurance, tenant screening, call center, and data monetization, as I spelled wrong there, see. Our growth that we estimate based on what competitors have done, we're looking at ending 2025 about 50,000 units or a 0.1% market share that would give us a revenue of $3 million a year. And our goal is a 5-year goal is at 5 million units in 2029 with a revenue of $122 million. This number is still only about half of what AppFolio has right now, so only about 5% of the total market, 4.17%. Our adoption strategy is to go out and attend event, speak about our software, networking, because we are real estate investors ourselves. We have a lot of network we can utilize to go out and get more property managers on board. We're going to use YouTube and Facebook groups to kind of build our own network and build our own industry name. So going through, we've done a competition review, and as you guys can see, the competition doesn't really do a lot other than rent collection and accounting. A few competitors advanced to have that we have no minimums. A lot of other competitors charge like $4,000 or $5,000 minimums just to get on board and use that platform. And 41% of the market is mom and pops, property managers who doesn't have that money. We offer a freemium model. We offer a property manager incentives where they can add additional costs to the payment process they can make money off of. We are the first to market with AI, and we focus on ease of use. And
Casper?
Yeah.
You're 12 seconds over now.
Okay.
Okay, so you have a team slide. Just let's quickly go through your slides. We got a team slide. Looks nice.
Yeah. So my team slide.
No, you don't have to talk about it. We're just going to go through them. Next slide.
Yeah. Testimonials.
Okay, don't care about that. Financial.
That's it.
And is there no ask, or was that an ask slide?
This is just thank you with some links.
Okay. All right, great. So I think you spent too much time talking about how you're going to go to market, because in a 3-minute pitch, you don't really have that kind of time to talk about that. You need to talk about problem, solution, the market size, a little bit on your team, and then a little bit about your ask. You spent a lot of time on competitors. And competitors is kind of a double-edged sword. It's a good thing because it lets you know that you're not, breaking all of the ground in the marketplace. People have already started to do this, and you can find their weak areas and work on them, make better solutions than what they have done. Yeah, so that's how you can get it shorter. Otherwise, I think it was an interesting concept. I think the 122 million in 5 years is not unreasonable. So your numbers seem good. Jeff, what do you say?
When you were describing the problem, I was getting it, and when I really got it is when you showed me your competitor slide. When I saw all the things that you were talking about that you were going to build into your solution that they didn't do, I didn't get it completely. I had an idea about what it was, but you didn't give me any examples until I saw your rack-up slide. Then I got it. So I would prefer to see, just give 1 or 2 examples when you're describing the problem of like that list of things. Like, we're going to help them with the accounting. We're going to help them with the modular lease builder. We're going to help them communicating with tenants. All rent collection, all of those things are different applications for most of these property managers. We put it all into one spot.
Yeah.
And just give 1 or 2 examples when you're talking about the problem. I kind of got it, but I didn't get it. You talked about how many doors were in your market, as opposed to how much money is spent on software that does all of these things. That's really what I care about when I'm talking to you about a software solution that's going to address these things. The size, what the potential customer size is great, but really the market is the software that's sold into the property management marketplace.
Got it.
So I liked how you got this down to, hey, we're going to make about $61 a unit. That was a really key number, and it helped me to understand how big the market was. Whether or not that's reasonable, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is $61 a lot to spend per unit?
It's actually the minimum
Yeah.
conservative number.
So like I said, I like the fact that you knew that number, and I just didn't have any context for it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to say you're using AI, you're going to get a billion questions from investors, because all we hear all day long is AI, AI, AI. You better have a really good story about exactly how you're using AI and why it's needed in this solution, because it's not needed in everything. So just be prepared for that question.
I have a lot of good stories about that. We can even demo it if you want.
Okay. I think if you'd have spent a little less time on and been a little crisper on your problem, you would have gotten to your ask, your team, the other stuff. But overall, you're hearing my criticisms, but at the end of the day, I wanted to know more. So
yeah, I take your feedback. It's good feedback.
So
cool.
So that's my feedback.
Thank you very much.
I would say your logo is really beautiful, and it kind of, the whole slide deck went along with that theme of a magic carpet ride. A lot of your slides were very dense for a live presentation. So people should be differentiating between doing a live presentation where your mannerism, your voice, and what you're saying is supposed to carry the attention of the audience. And you don't really want them distracted by the slides. The slides should only enhance what you're saying. So that's a live presentation. When you're sending out a deck to somebody that won't get the benefit of you're walking them through it, then yes, you have to include a lot more information on the slides. But these are two opposite ends of the spectrum. When you're talking, you want all eyes on you and just the slides enhancing. And when you're sending it out, you have to give as much information as you can. You still want to leave a little mystery because you want them to call you back and say, hey, tell me more. That is still always the goal with pitch deck. Tell me more.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So our application for Angel NV4 is due on Friday. We're having a little drop-in help session on Thursday. It's all online, and it'll just be helping people to go through the application if they're having any issues. I have one person who was having trouble uploading a video, but beside that, I have not heard many problems with actually doing the application. So you can start it, walk away from it, come back to it, and finish it. As you move down the process, if we get to the 3-minute pitches and you're still part of it, at that point, there's going to be more asked of you in the application. So we're going to have you revisit that, but we tried to make the entry application as simple as possible so that it didn't intimidate anybody. But we're still going to have those office hours on Thursday in case you need the help.
And hopefully Maggie won't be echoing quite so badly by the time we get to Thursday.
Yes, I certainly hope not. I am going to put into the chat now the link to the application in case anybody has missed it.
And Sean says he has a question.
Go ahead.
Just a quick question on the application. So I know that on the pitch deck that I'm going to be changing it. And so the one that I have there right now is kind of like the old one. Is it okay to just so that I don't miss the deadline, just put the deck that I have and then refine it over as we go through this process? Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to go back in and change anything that you want. And the angels would actually look at this. We're not even going to give them access to it until just before our education day on the 23rd. And then they will have access. So on the 23rd, you want to be about 90% complete, but you'll still have a few days to complete it because if the last 3 years are any indication, they're not even going to look at it until our next meeting, which is the 30th.
So
we need to ask them to look at it if they don't.
Yeah, we want it all there so that as soon as they're done with class, they can start looking. And a few of them do, but many of them wait until the day before or a couple of days before to start looking through that. And and this year we're sort of having a gradually more complex application. So as you move from your initial application and you get further in the competition, you'll be asked for more information as you go down the track. So,
and David asked in chat which deck should you be uploading. It's your 10-minute pitch. So even though the first one that we're going to hear is a 3-minute pitch, with the 10-minute pitch deck, we can make judgments about all of the aspects that we want to know about. And you'll have to shorten it for the 3-minute pitch. So that won't be the one that you use for a 3-minute pitch if you're invited to do that.
Yeah.
It's just, it'll give the angels a better idea of your company if we have the 10-minute type pitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Terrific. So hopefully we'll see everybody's application in by the deadline. And you know, it's super exciting. We have a much bigger group this year than we have in past years. So the competition in Nevada is getting more difficult than it was when we started. Than it was 3 years ago when we started. So you know, congrats on getting through to the end of this process, and I really look forward to looking at everybody's information. And you know, it's gonna be tough to, you know, cut it from however many ultimately end up applying to sort of the first cut at 30 to 40, and then down to 16, then down to 10, then down to 6. And that all happens in about 5 or 6 weeks. So put your best foot forward.
And just so you all know, the voting was pretty close. We just picked the top 3. All right, guys. Any other questions in the room or online? Yes, John? Are you just waiting or you have a question? You're muted at this point.
He's just saying thank you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thanks everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Take care.